Go to second part. Okay.
But some people just see the first part.
Well, we're gonna look for the second one too. Okay. Later, when the rest of the bear family had settled down for a quiet evening at home, Mama Bear sighed and
I
said,
can't see.
"I'm sure she will be all right." "Of course she will," said Papa Bear, looking up from a magazine. "After all," Mama said, "Sister is a well-behaved little cub, and Mr. and Mrs. Bruin have a lovely run home and are responsible, careful parents." "No doubt about it," said Papa, going back to his reading. There was only one problem. Mr. and Mrs. Bruin weren't home. They had gone out for the evening and had left Lizzie in the care of a teenage sitter who wasn't much older than some of the Lizzie's guests. The Bruins hadn't planned on a slumber party when Lizzie had asked if a few friends could sleep over.
Before I thought you said come over.
And certainly hadn't planned on a rip-roaring, ear-splitting, popcorn-throwing, soda-squirting
That's ear splitting.
party for half the cubs in the neighborhood, because that's what was happening with Sister right in the thick of it. That is Sister.
Yeah, I know.
I
I thought she was sick. I thought she had like the sick dog with the popcorn on her.
Like a chicken pox. No, that's the popcorn. The only thing that wasn't happening at the slumber party was slumber. Lizzie's sitter tried to keep things under control, but she couldn't even make herself heard over the noise.
How she put two hands like this?
Yes, she's trying to shout and to get everybody to keep down. You never heard such a commotion.
Excuse me. If she put two and she did...
To whistle with her fingers, yeah. You never heard such a commotion. Some neighbors up the road had never heard such a commotion either. They called the police. The chief sent Officer Margaret to investigate. She reached the Bruins' house at the same time Mr. and Mrs. Bruin were returning home. Well, things calmed down pretty quickly after that. The party was cancelled, parents were called, Lizzie was sent to bed, and an angry and disappointed Mama Bear
angry.
All the mamas are angry, yes.
And disappointed.
Mama Bear came to take Sister home. I'm angry
and skinny.
Disappointed.
The skinny spider, fast spider,
said Mama Bear as they walked home through the night. After all the things I said, bless you. I said about
bless you.
Privilege and responsibility.
All the stuff I said about bless you.
Sister was grounded and sent to bed, doubly grounded, which meant, there's another one, which meant she had to stay in her room for a day and in the house for a week. A pretty harsh punishment, commented Papa Bear a little later. Not harsh at all, said Mama. You should have seen the Bruins' living room. Popcorn stuck to everything, soda all over the place, lamps knocked over. An absolute disgrace. And after all, I said about privilege and responsibility. Sister does have to share the blame, said Papa, but she didn't do it all by herself. It was one of those situations where one thing leads to another, and things get out of control. But you know, my dear, privilege and responsibility aren't just for cubs. They're for parents too. Cushions all strewn about, said Mama. It's a privilege to have cubs. And with privilege goes responsibility, continued Papa. So we're partly to blame too. When Lizzie invited Sister to the slumber party, it was our responsibility to call the Bruins. If we have we would have found out that they were going to be out for the evening and the whole thing would have been nipped in the bud. Said Mama thoughtfully. The next morning, she canceled the grounding.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Sure.
You know, the princess from the Three Musketeers. She said this was all nipped in the butt of a pain in the neck. He said that.
Oh my goodness.
And the leader tried to do this. He did that. When she was walking, he was doing this.
Okay. The next morning, she canceled the grounding and took sister over to the Bruins to help clean up. Anna, Millie, and Queenie had come to help too. I know what, said Lizzie, as full of ideas as ever. Let's make this a cleanup party. Let's not, said sister. And if you don't mind, Liz, I don't want to hear the word party for a long time.
Me too. I'm tired of parties.
The end. Look at how many more we have to go. Well, actually, we've read them many, many, many times. Alrighty, bye.